everybody, this is Cheri, djsundry.blogspot.com, and today we are going to make a quick card. I'm going to throw in a couple extra tips as I'm making the card of some things that I'm doing for the card. So the first tip is that I decided I wanted a cream background, and I did not have any cream colored card bases. So I took a sheet of 12 by 12 paper. Actually, I cut two of them. I took two sheets of 12 by 12 paper. I cut them down to 8.5 by 11, and then I just made my own card base. So this one I want to open from top to bottom. So this one is actually 4¼ wide by 11 inches tall. I'm just going to come here. This is old colonial white from Close to My Heart. It's very old. I've had it for a long time, so I don't think it's even available anymore. But I'm going to take this, I'm going to score it at the 5.5 inch mark, just like that. Then I'm going to turn it valley side out, and then I am going to smooth out the crease with my bone folder. Now I'm not super worried about any kind of marks I may have made because I'm going to completely cover up the front of the card base. So that is tip number one. So then we'll come to tip number two in just a little while. I then took some scraps that I had. This is from the enchantment pack. Again, old colors. I haven't bought new cardstock in a while, but these are old colors from Close to My Heart. And then I took another piece of the cream, and this sticker says things are never quite as scary when you've got a best friend. And I got this from the June Cocoa Daisy planner kit. I believe it was the planner kit. And it's not one that I used in my planner, so I wanted to make a best friend card out of it. So I took it and I cut this little piece at 2 by 3. And then I cut this piece at 2.5 by 3.5, and I cut this piece at 3 by 4. So we've got a kind of just a graduated card. Now it's going to be a pretty simple card. I forgot to get my adhesives out, and so I decided, with as busy as what the background is, that I wanted just to keep it really simple. So I do want to put lots of adhesive though, because I don't want it to fall apart. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I am not good about getting out a T-square or anything, or even using my grids, but I'm just going to eyeball it, put that there, and then we're going to do the same with the top, just like so. Super easy. And then we will center that in, and it will have its own natural frame. Now, this card base that I'm going to use, or not the base, but the base that I'm going to use to put over my card base, is an alcohol ink background that I made. And I was using the Tim Holtz, or I was learning from the Tim Holtz demos that he was doing on Saturdays, and I thought this is perfect for these colors, and that's why I pulled these colors out to put on there. But I wanted to show my second tip, which is going to be, I'm going to reuse this card of some of this stuff, because if I put this right on here, see, no matter where I put it on here, there's a big chunk of the card that you would never see. So what I decided I'm going to do is I am going to kind of slide this, because I want to kind of left justify it. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take my pencil mark and, oops, my pencil, and make a mark here, and here, and here, and here. And those are just to give me kind of a vantage point of where I want to cut inside of those. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper trimmer, and I am going to cut, I'm going to line this up so it's nice and straight. And let's see, that's going to put that, I want to have plenty, I want to save my space, but I also don't want to cut it so large that I end up having to set it too closely. So I'm going to just kind of move it, set it up inside of my pencil marks. I'm going to come over here, not put that down. I'm going to come inside my line like that, and I'm going to cut again, I'm going to go inside my lines just so that I cut a square out of the middle, so that I could line that up. Now, it probably would have been easier had I measured it first. I know that my inside is 3 by 4, and I will be honest with you, I'm having a little bit of a difficult time seeing my lines on that busy background, but I don't always see super straight, and I was afraid I would line it up backwards on the back. But I'm using these little marks on the side of my cutter to kind of see how far my blade's going, and that's all the further I want it to go on that side. And then I'm going to do the same, lining it up right there, and I'm going to come over, line it up on the inside here, stop right there, and then one final cut from this direction. Again, I'm going to line it up where my cut already is. Now this is well inside, so I'm not saving a ton of paper, but I am saving a little bit that now I could use on another project. So I've got that all, and it should just pop out. But if it doesn't, that's not a problem. See, I did not quite go to the edges there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just grab my X-Acto knife. And I am honestly not super worried about messing up my glass mat because they are going to be really light marks, and I'm not making a lot of them. I would not use this to cut all the time. I would pull out a mouse pad or cutting board or something. But in fact, I'm not even going to, for this first cut, lay it down all the way because it's such a tiny space. I just am like tiny bit off there. And the same here. Actually, I'm going to cut it on the back side because I can see it better. And just make this cut right here. Again, this is all going to be completely covered up, so it won't matter in the least, even if it's not completely straight, because it will be completely covered up. And I'm just going to rip that one a little bit, and there we've got our hole. Now I know that looks kind of weird, but that's just fine. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I pre-measured this piece of ribbon. This is old ribbon as well. This is ribbon that I purchased from 3 Girl Jam from or had back years and years ago when they were still open, and I was on their design team. Some of the things I purchased, some of the things they gave me. Oh, I miss 3 Girl Jam. I love their ribbon. I use that all the time. I'm just going to eyeball that to center it. I know that piece is too big, but that's no problem. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am just going to adhere this to my card base. So again, I'm going to put extra adhesive right over that ribbon because I really want it to stay down. I don't care that it's twisted in the back. And this is a little bit awkward because of the extra bulk, but that's okay. It will be just fine. I want to put plenty of adhesive down so that the extra bulk will still not come apart from the card base. And I'm going to run right out of my adhesive. That's okay. We have backup, so I don't even have to stop. Just grab another adhesive here. I'll have to refill my... This is my favorite go-to tiny adhesive. I use it in journaling a lot too. So let's just line that up. And I know that looks really bizarre on the front, but nobody's going to see that. And then I can go back and cut. Oh, I could cut hexagons or whatever shape I wanted. I have a die. Wow, I did not get that straight. I have a die that I could cut hexagons. I could cut small bases like this out of it, but I'm just saving my paper by doing that. And so it's a great hack. It's one I've used many times, especially when you're dealing with a specialty paper, maybe a piece of paper that's a little bit more expensive. This was not an expensive piece of paper, but it's kind of a one-time effect thing. Once you do it, you're not going to be able to do it exactly like that again because you handmade that. Okay, so now to finish this off, see, we're going to cover that right over there. See, never know the difference. But what I want to do is I want to use foam tape. I'm going to give that a little bit bigger, a little bit more room to kind of pop off that card. This would be a card if you were making something with this much adhesive, you definitely, or this much dimension, you would have to pay more postage for it, or you would have to put it like in a box, a gift box or something, that it would not cause any problems in the mail, so it won't fall apart. So there we have it. We are almost done with the outside of the card. I'm going to have one thing I want to do on the inside of the card, and we'll be all done. Okay, so I'm just going to center that. I have my hash mark up on top, so I can actually see where it, whoops, except I didn't set it down straight. I can actually see where I'm going to put it up there. Center that. There we go. See, nobody will ever know unless they decide they're going to take the card apart that you cut the middle out of it. So now to finish it off, I have this little bit of washi tape that coordinates with the sticker set, and I am just going to put some at the bottom just to kind of finish off the inside of the card. I would rather go a little bit over and have that little tiny bit of waste when it comes to something like washi tape than to try to trim it before I do it. So there we have this card. Super simple. I'm going to trim this a little bit shorter. Kind of has a mind of its own. And there we have it, our card. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.